In news for the fun of it, when a man attempted to siphon gasoline from a motorhome parked on a Seattle, Washington street, he got much more than he bargained for. Siphoning requires priming the flow of gasoline by sucking on the hose until the gasoline starts to flow. Police arrived at the scene to find the ill man curled up next to the motorhome from which he had tried to siphon off gasoline but had plugged his hose into the motorhome's sewage tank by mistake. And in news for the fun of it, a dog that wasn't quite housebroken, or at least not bus-broken, may have indirectly been responsible for a bomb scare at a New York courthouse. The trouble began when 19-year-old Melvin Ruffin arrived at a court complex in central Islip, New York, following a long bus ride from his home in Bellport. During the trip, another passenger's Chihuahua dog urinated on his backpack. So he stashed the wet bag in some bushes while he went inside to answer a disorderly conduct citation. A retired police officer saw the bag in the bushes and alerted security. The bomb squad was ultimately called in. Officers used a robot to determine that the bag did not contain anything harmful. Ruffin said that authorities let him off with a warning to be more careful next time about where he leaves his stuff. The dog has not been charged.
In international news, Facebook has announced its initial public offering price, and it's very high. The AP's Warren Levinson explains.
Facebook has priced its initial public offering at $38 a share. That's the upper end of the range it projected. Demand for the stock is off the charts strong. The IPO is expected to be one of the largest in history, possibly surpassed only by a couple of Chinese banks. It figures to raise more than $18 billion for its owners and early investors and value the company north of $100 billion. That would make it more valuable than Amazon and Disney and give the social networking company a price-earnings ratio of about 100. The average? Around 15. Warren Levinson, New York.
And in news for the fun of it, 3 Norwegian tourists in Brazil came under fire and one was shot after satellite navigation systems in their car guided them straight into one of Rio de Janeiro's most dangerous slums. The 3 men cut short their vacation in Brazil and headed home after Trygve Killingveit was shot in the shoulder by suspected drug traffickers from one of the gangs that control hundreds of shanty towns in Rio. The tourists were returning from a beach resort when they got lost. They reportedly told police their global positioning system, GPS system, recommended they turn off a main highway as the quickest route back to the airport to drop off the rental car. But the suggested route took them deep into a slum complex where their rented car quickly came under fire. Killingveit managed to drive the car to safety despite being wounded. He told family members in Norway that he probably went astray because of a fault in the GPS. The moral is, never trust a global positioning system where the letters GPS stand for gets people shot.
Crows have become highly skilled at making a living in these new urban environments. In this Japanese city, they have devised a way of eating a food that normally they can't manage. Dropping a nut from a great height onto a hard road does sometimes crack it, but some nuts are particularly tough. So the crows have devised a better way. Drop it among the traffic. The problem now is collecting the bits without getting run over. So some birds have refined their technique. They station themselves beside pedestrian crossings. wait for the lights to stop the traffic. Then collect your cracked nut in safety.
Once a stronghold of forces loyal to captured dictator Saddam Hussein, the city of Tikrit, here in northern Iraq, is now firmly under the control of American forces. Or is it? These members of the Iraqi resistance movement, still loyal to Saddam Hussein, think otherwise.
The Americans tell lies. Each day our forces grow stronger. Each day we move closer to our goal of driving the infidel... What are they?
Nothing. Carry on.
Driving the infidels from our motherland. We are not afraid to... Are they subtitles? They are, aren't they?
No.
Well, what do I need subtitles for? Can't you understand what I'm saying? I studied English at the bloody American University in Cairo.
Well, obviously I can understand what you're saying.
Oh, you see how they condescend to us with their subtitles.
Oh, maybe it's teletext, you know, for the hearing impaired.
Teletext?
No, a lot of TVs come with teletext nowadays.
Wait, say something again.
My friend has an 80-cent...
Hey, how come he doesn't need subtitles?
Well, obviously he's comprehensible.
No, I'm not.
Look, if you...
I speak perfect English. She sells seashells by the seashore. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Round the ragged rocks, Oh!
The situation remains as dangerous and volatile as ever here in northern Iraq. While the rebuilding continues...
What? I can't understand you speak English. Where is your subtitles now? Oh, you think you're so good. Look at me. I got subtitles.
Harry Downs, Iraq.
Shut up!